Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello everyone. In this video, I will explain hemicatabolism and bilirubin metabolism. I will start from red blood cells, which cells that are produced from bone marrow through a process known as erythropoiesis. The cell through this process will develop till reach erythroblast, then reticulocytes. Reticulocytes usually spend 3 days in bone marrow, 1 day in blood. Reticulocytes will form erythrocytes. This is our red blood cells. The purpose of erythrocytes to cycle blood around the body and carrying oxygen, which bound with hemoglobin. The cycling of red blood cells usually spend from 70 to 90 days. This is in neonate and 120 days in adults. After that, the red blood cells become old, damaged, and die. There is cells in spleen known as macrophages. These cells, it is so important cells in the immune system. It is recognized and responds and engulf the dead old cells. So all the old dead cells going to the spleen and in the macrophages will degrade the erythrocytes and release hemoglobin. Hemoglobin will broken to two components. These two main components are globin. Globin, it is a protein and broken down to amino acid and reuse erythropoiesis. The other component, it is heme, and also it is broken down to two components. The first component is iron. Iron also it is reuse for erythropoiesis. Other component is unconjugated bilirubin. This unconjugated bilirubin, the yellowish orange color, is not recycled and need removed from the body because it is toxic. It is also lipid soluble. So, whereas in blood is required to carry around by protein. This protein is known as albumin. So, the albumin, it is responsible to carrying unconjugated bilirubin to further metabolism in the liver. So, I'm going to now in the liver. Also in the liver, it has own macrophages cells. And look like what I say previous, macrophages cells degrade the erythrocytes and release hemoglobin. Hemoglobin will broken to two components, heme and globin. Globin will broken down to amino acid and reuse for erythropoiesis. Heme broken down to two components. First component, the iron. Iron reuse erythropoiesis, and unconjugated bilirubin. Unconjugated bilirubin have further metabolism in liver. In the liver, there will be reaction called conjugation. Unconjugated bilirubin converted to conjugated bilirubin with addition glucuronic acid. Conjugated bilirubin, it is now water soluble, can be excreted from liver in bile to the small intestinal through common bile duct. So conjugated bilirubin travel to the small intestinal till reach the lower segment in the small intestinal known as ileum and the first part in the large intestinal. Here, conjugated bilirubin converted to urobilinogen by special bacteria inside large intestinal. This conversion also by removing the glucuronic acid through hydrolysis reduction reaction. Urobilinogen, it is lipid soluble and 90% will quickly oxidated by special bacteria in large intestinal to stercobilin. This is stercobilin have a brown color and giving character of feces brown color. This is 90%. What about the 10% of urobilinogen? The 10% is going to recycle the blood. And as we know, urobilinogen is lipid soluble. Lipid soluble need to carrying around protein. This is albumin carried with urobilinogen in the blood to recycle. Urobilinogen have two ways. 5%, this is a small percentage going to participate with enterohepatic urobilinogen cycle in the liver. The other 5% going to the kidney through blood and converted to urobilin, and that gives the yellowish character to the urine. I hope you're interested with my small video on bilirubin metabolism. With all my respect, Makarim al Hilal.